big on first week sales and shit like that. But I remember the projection was for it to sell like 90K first week.
Mm-hmm.
But even since then, it has received a boost, and I think it's upwards of like 120K first week
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah. I heard it was gonna be
And
something like that too.
uh, so yeah, it's even not that it's surprised or anything like that, but it even surpassed the Carter 6 first week sales. So but yeah,
You
that's
don't feel
pretty
like
much
that
my
was
take on it.
surprising a little bit? I feel like that was a little bit surprising. Cause
Uh
not once we heard the album, but beforehand, I would have thought Carter 6 maybe outsold Clips. Just off of Wayne alone. But obviously when
oh
the album came out, I don't think people flocked to it like that.
yeah, that's a good point. The main reason why I would say it wasn't really much of a surprise because I know Wayne, and you know what I'm saying, him being a staple of hip hop, he's gonna draw an audience regardless of whenever he drops
Facts.
a solo project. But with Wayne's I guess album rollout and the way they went about it, I think they banked too much on just Wayne names itself because
Mm-hmm.
you didn't hear no lead single from the Carter Six. We didn't even know what type of feel we would get from this album. It wasn't any type of rollout. He didn't do any podcast or anything like that.
Yep.
With the Clips, we at least seen them go on interviews nonstop,
Yep.
addressing Drake and a whole bunch of shit. So at least we know they were setting the stage for their release. So I just feel like at least leading up to the Clips album release, at least I feel like they had hip hop more engaged
Oh,
for their
definitely.
release, if that makes sense. With
Definitely.
Carter
Yeah.
Six, it was just more like, all right, yeah, and at that time when Carter Six dropped, who even had an album out within a 6 week span of Carter Six dropping? I don't think
Nope.
anyone dropped an album
Nope.
in the month of May, if I'm not mistaken. So Wayne had a clean slate. Wayne had the he had the layout all to
Yep.
himself, and he just dropped the ball with it.
Yeah.
So, and for what it's worth, I mean, the Clips did drop on the same night that Justin Bieber dropped. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So you got
And
to think
Travis
about
Scott. Travis Scott dropped
and
that
right, and
that
I forgot
project.
all about that. I forgot all about that because that's another thing. Travis Scott is in Drake's corner,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one of the things that they were saying. It was like, why these surprise releases when the Clips are about to drop? So it almost seemed like they were trying to step on the Clips release.
Yeah.
So that's more of a reason why I got to give respect to how the album performed in terms of the commercial side of it.
I agree. I agree. Just cause I feel like nowadays, man, we need a cleanse with the music shit, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that Clips is like cleanse, but it's definitely taking a step in a different direction. And I feel like just in general, we need something like fresh air. You know what I'm saying?
I, I'll see we hit that turn. I want to say last year officially.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it hit the ground running like late 2022. That's when That's when you first started to hear the public say stuff like, "Oh, La Baby is washed.
Yeah.
La Baby flow sound outdated,"
Yeah.
and a lot of the quote unquote lit rappers, the one that was dominating the scene. I think people are kind of like getting tired of the same old half-hearted ass lyrics.
Yeah.
And I think now we're at the point to where everyone is really engaged into substance, wordplay, storytelling. No one want to just hear nonstop club music.
Yeah. And
And
if it
not
is, it's got to be a melody to it of some type of like Rod Wave level of,
right,
you
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Um, so yeah, I think now it's just we just cutting out a lot of the fat in hip
Yeah.
hop right now in terms of what people want and don't want to hear. And I think this is the first time in a while in which you can actually be a 37, 30-year-old rapper and you are listed as the peak. Because think about it, the top rappers we looking at the game right now, like you gotta think about it. The Clips are in the early 40s, man.
No, they
Them
like
niggas like
50. I ain't gonna
50.
cap. Yeah, they like 50.
Let me see Pusha T.
No, Malice is like 51 or something, I
Okay,
think.
so Pusha 48.
Yeah,
So
his
yeah,
brother 52.
and for them dudes to Malice is 52. So for them dudes to drop an album like that, maybe late 40s and shit like that, and they still, you know what I'm saying, able to capture the ears of hip hop. That's that's big, man.
Yep.
I'm uh I'm proud that it's taking a cultural shift like that instead of, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I didn't listen to the Young Thugs that they peaked, the Lil Uzis, the all type of shit. Those guys that came into the game with a different style that we weren't used to,
Yep.
and it kind of had people in the chokehold. But uh, I think in combination with that, I feel like a lot of people now are just tired of the gangster image. Like we know that shit is watered down at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
So um and I think that's like the biggest thing. It's just like at this point now we know the street era, that shit there is just like
It's cooked, damn
it's
near.
yeah, it's definitely cooked. So I think that's like I think people are at the point right now, I think they just outgrew a lot of this shit, man.
Yeah. Plus the music that
So
was coming out, especially like early 2000s, up until the last probably I give it till now. So let's say the last 25 years, I feel like the music in hip hop has been so like hyper fixated on violence and proximity to violence. I feel like that 25-year
right,
time probably feel like 100 years. You get what I'm saying? Like
facts.
for the people really into situations that are just not beneficial, and people looking back on like music and how much of an impact like certain artists had on mindsets, mentalities, like struggles, like you know what I'm saying? It's just I think it was like you said earlier, it was time for new life to be breathed into this a little bit with the focus on lyrics and less so on
Facts.
the image. Cause I feel like the image
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
is damn near
exactly.
what ran it into the ground, bro. Honestly,
Facts.
cause even like you even think about like a little baby, like what really changed between 2018 to 2024? You feel what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I don't think nothing really changed for baby, but I feel like the music, the way the world is set up now, with especially whenever people are kind of in a pinch with money, they become a lot more selective to to their surroundings. My bad.
Right.
And when that money becomes scarce, you know, with the economy kind of being a little rough right now, I feel like that just opens people's minds up to like, where else am I losing out on? And then with the music, it just I really feel like some of these guys got lost in this idea of like how much can you not relate to your listener? Because after you know what I'm saying, like after you really come up, it stops being like the street stories. It stops being like relatable shit, and it turns into like, yeah, I bought this, I did this, I was here with
Right.
so and so, and we did this, and then it's like, damn, bro. I mean, I feel you. I'm glad for you, but you still got to be able to relate to people on a way that I feel like most rappers don't feel like doing, and that's really gonna be their biggest downfall, I think, in general.
Right. Right. And that statement you just said, it fits directly with the bid because you got to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, from 2018, not even from 2018 to 2025. We don't even have to discuss what change have you noticed in his rapping ability because really I don't know any. But what have you learned about this dude from 2018 to 2025? We really don't know shit about this nigga. All we know is shit. You know he gonna have some jewelry.
Yep.
He gonna buy some women some Birkin bags,
Yep.
and you know what I mean.
Yep.
And that's just that. Like he gonna yell 4 p.m.
You feel like they
Other than that,
lost their identity, bro? I'm not to cut you off, but you just said something that sparked a whole conversation in my head. Do you feel like they lost like the average rapper? And when I say rapper, I guess we talking about little baby, so let's talk about like street rappers. You feel like they lost their identity as far as like a Jeezy or a Waka or a Gucci, or you feel like they just got too caught up maybe with the glitz and glamour of it, which I guess can be both ways. But you just made a great point where you talking about like how you go from, you know, being this street smart dude who made it out of a situation to tricking on women as part of like your logo. I mean, as part of your brand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
um, the thing is about Lil Baby is, and a lot of people are unaware of this. How I feel about Lil Baby, I think he was a great rapper for that time
mm-hmm,
and when he came in. Um, because the more you really dig into Lil Baby, you really can't be surprised at his status in today's game because the shit that you hear people complain about him, such as he has the same flow.
Yeah.
There isn't any substance or content in his music. He sounds bored of this shit, if anything. He's trying to use the same formula over and over again. When you really peel back the layers and you go back to the origin of it all, people gotta understand he never had interest on really being a rapper from the get-go.
Facts.
What happened is he was just a street dude who had a knack for just getting money as a youngin'. But then you had people like Young Thug that got in his ear and say, man, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like you can make some money in this music shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's just one of those. I think you can be a good rapper, but shit, you can be a good rapper that's just blessed with one flow. Look at the baby.
Facts.
So
Facts.
I think that's just the corner that he's trapped in. And the only way you're going to see a change from Lil Baby is if you get him with a real producer, because we don't know if he really have love for music. Like I said, this is a street dude who basically found the diamond in the rough with this rap shit. He made a come up. And then, you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, he probably got a little big headed, man. You gotta think about it. 2020, Lil Baby, they comparing this man to Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, yeah.
So you gotta think about it. Like, who knows if that shit probably got him out of his mind. Then it's one thing you hear the public saying that.
Mm-hmm.
This dude here, he started getting on features and started saying, I never called myself a GOAT. I leave it up to the people. Well, I'm the Lil Wayne of this generation. Like, he started putting all this shit in his lyrics. Okay, if you put all that in your lyrics, you then have to live
Open
up
up
to
expectation.
it. So that's the lyrical side of it. And now I'm about to get you on how he damaged his image. The baby damaged his image. The baby image ain't been the same since they caught this man in that picture with Michael Rubin.
Yeah. See it.
When he had the white dude standing in front of him,
yeah,
and he had Michael Rubin behind him,
yeah,
hugging him, man,
yeah.
come on, bro. Like, your nuts is against another man's ass. That man nuts is against your ass. You in a reverse Oreo.
It's unexplainable. You can't even explain how you got in that situation.
Right. And then he's saying, it wasn't like that. Or I was about to go ask Michael Rubin to replay the video footage. Just like, no, man, you supposed to be a crip, man. You supposed to be a street rapper from that moment. You're not supposed to be even at an all white party, even in an environment like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and then you smiling your ass off while another man is hugging you from behind. Like, come on, man. So I think since then, he hasn't found a way to get from out of that criticism against him. It's just been a bad look since then. And the last thing I would say that Young Thug situation hurt him a lot.
Yeah.
From the perspective of, people gotta understand, once they scooped up Young Thug for that Rico shit, they weren't just trying to take down YSL. They threw out a whole net to try to get all these dudes. So one of the rap groups that was on that Rico indictment list was 4PF. You notice how over the past two to 3 years, you haven't heard Lil Baby claim 4PF in years.
Nope.
That's not even the name of his
and
label.
I'm about to say he changed the name.
Right, it's called Can't Be Fucked With or some shit like that. People gotta understand. So he not only is he stuck in a box of trying to rebrand and some more shit, man. So I think that's why. I think that's why when you listen to his music, he just sounds so empty. He don't know where to go at from this point, man.
Facts.
And it's only gonna get worse.
Facts.
Because the last album he just dropped, what was called Wham?
Yep.
And that shit fell on deaf ears, man.
Yep.
So,
and I know he was teasing that other album coming out just because he was either going to do a deluxe with all new songs or he was going to do another album he was teasing. But I know that was because he didn't expect the backlash he got trying to, wiggle his way out a little bit. But I mean,
he had said,
yeah,
not to cut you off, but he had said last year his original plan from the beginning was he was going to drop Wham, then he was going to come behind that and drop another album called Dominique, which is his real name, and then he was going to have the collab album with Future and Young Thug. He dropped the Wham album what it was, January. Like I said, that shit right there wasn't received well from the
Right.
public. So um he was supposed to drop Dominique back in like May. Didn't do that shit. So I really don't know what his plan is, man. And in terms of Young Thug is a whole another uh situation in itself. I think Young Thug is possibly more fried than Lil Baby, man.
Yeah,
I'm
no
not even gonna
cap.
lie to you.
No
Young
cap.
Thug, and the thing is with Young Thug, I think people are really going to see this. All right, I think Young Thug is he's an incredible artist for what he makes, but I think he is really going to hit a wall
Mm.
because I think Young Thug is one of those artists, and this might sound crazy, but I think Young Thug is one of those artists. I don't think he makes good music if he's sober. I'm being so serious with you.
Mm.
And he's on probation for like the next 15 to 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a huge decline in the Thug's creativity when he's not off the drugs. I think no one is talking about that, but you really gonna see that. Because even the songs that he put out the past few weeks, the shit has been bullshit. And
Yeah.
you gotta think about it. This is a dude that really should have a lot to speak about. He just went through all this Rico shit. His whole gang ratted on him. You know what I mean? Like, and before he went into jail, his BM got killed.
Yep.
So one of his kids lost their mother.
Yep.
Then you got the story to tell how you feel like how Gunna betrayed you or whatever. And I'm not saying that I view it the way that he may view it, but you still have something to speak on in your music. You know, you shouldn't be coming out making songs money on money on money. Like, no, bro. Get some substance out and get your fans reinvested into your music. Cause right now, the streets is saying Gunna, you know what I mean, is lapping you right now.
That's really what they're saying. Yep.
So it's like, come on, man. If you Young Thug, you could be doing things a whole lot different now. But what you want to do is you want to keep taking jabs at Gunna. Every time you see Gunna name in the blogs, he go Young Thug putting out some tweet trying to antagonize and bully the dude. Meanwhile, Gunna is in a cut minding his own business. And you know how this going to music, man. Once the people side with one side,
It's over with.
it's over with. You gonna be the laughing stock. Because at the end of the day, the fans are what bring the dollars in, man. The fans ain't into the music. It's over with, man.
I just
It's
don't know if
over with.
he see it. I just don't know if they I mean, especially with Thug, it's like part of Thug's appeal, in my opinion, really came from how he could stand out, like
Right.
especially like on a feature. Like Thug would really stand out, and to hear, even when he came back with the Future feature, I'm like, you don't even need Future, man. You just we don't have so much Future music in the last 5 years. Like no one is saying like, damn, I can't wait to hear what Future and Thug gonna come back with. But when he came
Exactly.
back out the gate with the Future feature, to me it screamed like, oh, he looking for more. He either was thinking, I'm gonna throw them some, I know they gonna eat up, like me and Pluto, you know what I'm saying? This will
Facts.
go whatever. Or he was thinking, I'm gonna test the water and see how they feel about me in general, but I don't want to do it by myself. And
Facts.
maybe you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because it definitely just seemed like a vibe check. Because even you
Mm-hmm.
listen to the song, it felt like something to just get some quick radio spins in.
Yeah.
Because that type of song it was. Like he wasn't talking about shit.
Yeah.
You listen to that song, that did not sound like a dude who just got out of serving 3 years in prison.
Nope.
So, um, and I think that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow for Young Thug because as great as I will give Young Thug credit for this. Young Thug, when he wants to get in his bag and he wants to story tell, I really do think he has the ability to do that.
He does.
But it's gonna be tough, man. And that's gonna be the disappointing thing about Young Thug. I really think he can do it. Now, like I just told you, I think he has the stories to tell. Like you said, he have a BM that got killed before he went into jail.
Yep.
He just served 3 years. He went through all this Rico shit. His whole gang ratted on him. Man, he could lay all this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like give some substance. Look at Gunna. Gunna used to be on that drip or drown shit, but as soon as Gunna got out of jail, he dropped that what that one was called, A
That
Gift
was
and a
the
Curse.
Gift and the Curse with Back at
Man,
It.
that
Yeah,
right, that man, he was really speaking on that album.
yeah,
He was really speaking, man,
yeah.
and that what got people to be like, oh shit, okay, you know what I'm saying? This man here took a turn. He started to look at this shit a little different. Young Thug is just like, man, like what are you doing? And Young Thug, what is Young Thug age, bro?
Young
He in
Thug
his
got to be
early
like
30s.
34, 7,
Yeah, he turned 34 on the
34.
16th of next month. So you at that age now, man. You at that age now in which, as a 34-year-old, you really supposed to be in the prime of your pen game for real. Like your lyricism should like really be sharper now. There's no reason why I should be able to go listen to a Young Thug song from 2015
Yeah.
and you sound more lyrical back then. And you was 24 back then.
But that had to be that had to be like the arrogance from the audience, right? Because he, you got to figure like Thug back then, he was trying to prove he was so many things in one. Like he was trying to prove he was, I ain't
That's
gonna
right.
say
That's correct.
like I ain't even gonna say he was trying to prove he was more. Yeah, I am gonna say that he was trying to prove he was a street dude that could still blend
Right.
like artistic visions and still keep his own
Right.
personal integrity. Even with questionable decisions that he was making publicly, he still kind of maintained that like persona. And I feel like once he got that, up until the point in which he went into that jail cell, I really feel like Thug felt like this shit was like printing money for him. Cause I don't think he thought of it like none of us took it that deep before he went to jail. Before the Gunna
Right.
situation, I don't even think Gunna, you know, a lot of things in life are like in life is a blessing, and I really feel like that was a blessing in disguise for him because
Right.
when you think about it, bro, like that was his only chance to escape whatever goofy shit was gonna happen to him. But that was probably his only chance in life to escape that. And when you get tied up in the wrong elements, I feel like your image starts calling for you more than anything because that's where your ego's tied into. And you start saying, like, nah, I'm gonna be like this, I'm gonna be like that. And then for him to come out the gate, he had probably the best PR year I've ever seen from an artist, bro. Like, just to switch it, like, going from everybody kind of clowning you for the last, what, maybe 2 months
Facts.
before he dropped the
That's facts.
project, and then literally doing it at the height of that, turning it around, and then being like, nah, you know what? My thing is positivity. I'm still gunning, so I still got shit that I like. I still got slang. I still got sauce to give you shit like things for the fans
Right.
to eat off of. But I'm pivoting. Instead of the lean, I'm going to the gym.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of the Percocets, I'm just sticking to weed. And now
Yeah.
it's like, damn, bro. As he kind of cleared up his artistic vision, it felt like the audience could clear up like they looked at him like, damn, you one of the good guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
don't even know
Right.
how to
Right.
explain
And,
it.
you want to know what's crazy about it, man? And what I would say about all this shit is this is the part that's even that's going to this is the part that kind of made me that kind of brought me to a wait damn moment. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah,
because not only did Gonna drop two albums since his release, because he dropped A Gift and a Curse, and he dropped the one last year was called One of One.
yep, 101.
So this is going to put in perspective. And like I said, I ain't gonna lie, dude really brave before doing this, because when he dropped A Gift and a Curse, that was back in May 2023.
Yep,
I remember it. He dropped that shit in the middle of that Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy beef. I remember when, because this is when it was the same month that what's his name, Lil Durk dropped the All My Life song with J.
yeah,
Cole,
I remember
and then
that.
he eventually dropped his album that same month. Him and NBA YoungBoy, they got this big ass beef going on. It's all everybody talking about in hip hop. Gonna drop The Gift and the Curse. That man stamped his moment right then and there. You know what I mean? And he ain't give a fuck, and he received positive reviews. Then what did he do next year? What did he do the next year? What he did last year in 2024? Arguably the biggest beef in hip hop history. Drake and Kendrick. That man dropped One on One
Hmm.
and delivered a banger.
Mm-hmm.
So you really got to think about when this dude is dropping in the middle of and how he's still getting his shine, he's still getting his moment, he's still delivering. That shit that's even more impressive, man.
Yeah.
he dropped it in the middle of his last 2 releases has been in the middle of 2 huge beefs in the industry, man. And that right there, I gotta give respect for, because I know in hip hop, when you got a
It's damn
beef,
near
that's because
impossible.
right? Because when there's a beef going on, it's entertaining for the audience. So niggas ain't really worrying about this and that, this and that. They worrying about, you know what I'm saying? Who gonna drop the next move? We in the middle of Drake calling Kendrick Lamar a fucking woman beater, and Kendrick calling Drake a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like we in the
Yeah.
middle of that shit.
Yeah.
And this man dropped the whole album and delivered. I gotta give that man his credit for that, man.
I
Gotta
looked
give
I
that man
looked
his
at it
credit.
like it was some superhero shit as far as like some rap game shit, just because I don't know how you beat the snitch allegations one, and then I don't know how you beat the public criticism at a time where, like you said, nobody's even paying attention to you for real. Like, yeah, the Gunna and Young Thug shit is there, but it's like sidelines to the Kendrick Drake shit. But you still find a way to sell music and positively promote your brand, where everybody else, like literally everybody else in that 20, I say in that 2018 kind of like Atlanta scene, YSL, 4PF, like Gunna's the only one right now from that time period that's still eating the same way, if not better.
Yeah, I had a thought about that. Like I said, once I realized he was doing successful, and I'm not even 2018. You got to think about it. Who are the only Atlanta rappers that can really deliver and still like shake shit up when they drop? It's only Gunna and Future.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think Young Thug got that same pull. He could really shift the game
Cause Thug did
off
release an
of it.
album when he was locked up. I know it was like some older songs, but that didn't really do nothing either. And that
I
was
got you. And
during that
I
3
and I
years.
I gave him a pass for that because I know in the middle of a RICO indictment,
Certain things you can't
he
talk about. Yeah.
right yeah, and I was like, yeah, he can't really talk about shit on that, man. I'm like, he probably just did that shit to get a few more dollars, man.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying a
Yeah.
couple legal fees and shit like that. So I ain't really take it as much. But man, Gunna 2-0 so far, man.
Gunna
So
2-0.
Young Thug, you cannot drop the ball. And that's the thing about Young Thug. This here is going to they gonna put these dudes together for the next couple of years because of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because this is going to be looked at as this is going to go down in history because these are 2 dudes that was once bro and bro. You know what I'm saying? They had a bro and bro relationship. Now they looked at as enemies and they can't stand each other. Well, at least Young Thug is looking
It's
at it
like
like
some
he can't
comic book
stand this nigga.
shit for real.
Right. So this shit can go down in history. I think this is like I'm not gonna say it's that Jeezy versus Gucci like type rivalry
Yeah,
for
nah.
Atlanta of the new
Yeah.
gen. I won't really go there because them 2 niggas like somebody died in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So, but I will really say like every era really has like that beef. You know what I'm saying? Like I think this is probably that one for Atlanta of this gen. I think that's just gonna be looked at as the beef, man. And if you Young Thug, like subconsciously you know whatever you release, even if you don't got nothing against Gunna anymore, even if you did that shit right now, bro, and like don't even address it no more, you just start giving a fuck about it. You know, if you drop an album, the blogs is gonna be all right. Who had the better album between the 2? Except this shit is gonna
Yep.
follow you out for the next couple of years,
Yep.
even if you don't want it to.
And it's
So
already in
Young
Gunna
Thug,
favor right now.
right? So if you Young Thug, you gotta realize like you slick, you really got free, you really getting free promo, free attention. You can almost guarantee your next couple of releases. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you fucking it up. You playing with it. You see what I'm saying? You looking at it like you really gonna matter forever, you know, Thug. Like, man, it ain't no law. This shit is not, you not, this shit is not R&B. It's not none of that shit. It ain't no loyalty in hip hop. The same fans that are here for you today,
They switch up.
they'll switch up. They on to the next thing. This shit is an entertainment business at the end of the day. And that's how it go, right? And then once the label starts seeing that, once Atlanta Records, man, they gonna pull a plug.
Oh yeah.
You
Easy.
irrelevant after that.
Easy.
You see what I'm saying? like I know you still might be able to make good ass music, but once people just don't care about it no more,
They don't buy into it. It's over with.
it's over with, man. It's over with. So that's the thing about Young Thug. Like I said, man, you about to be 34 years old. Like your pen supposed to be sharp, and if you thinking just because you got good relationships with Future and 21 that they just gonna be able to just throw you a lifesaver and throw you alley oops forever, like no, man.
It's not what's happening.
He probably and right now he feel like Lil Baby is really like gonna be the future of the new generation, meaning that Lil Baby gonna be around forever. So and he kind of feel like he forever got a open door ticket from Lil Baby. Like he feel like whenever he need that, you know what I'm saying? Whenever he need that, you know what I'm saying, that get out of jail free pass, he feel like Lil Baby could throw him a future or whatever the fuck, and they can shake it up. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. But yeah, it's gonna be a hard pill for Young Thug. But it all depend on this next release, man.
Mm-hmm.
This next release
It's
is
a big moment.
going to be big because as soon as you drop it, man, people are going to tune in.
Yeah.
They're going to tune in just for comparison. And just because we want to know what you gonna talk about after all this shit all this shit you went through. We just want to know, is it gonna be bullshit or is it gonna be all right? That man really speaking on it. So his next release is huge, man. It's huge. It's huge. And I think,
yeah,
and
go
I
ahead.
this is the last point. This is the last point I was gonna make. I think he know that, and I think he got spooked because the album that was supposed to come out is called what? You Scuddy or some shit like
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
That shit was supposed to come out like mid-May.
May. Yep.
And he pushed it back.
Yep.
So
something definitely changed. I agree with that because he either saw the reviews or response to Money on Money and was like, nah, they ain't ready for this shit yet, or he was like, I gotta come, because I don't know, bro. Even the visual from Money on Money felt like he anticipated it to hit harder. You feel what I'm saying? Like it seemed like he put some, I ain't gonna say thought because it's the oldest video, but it seemed like he put some effort and money into recrafting something visually that the audience was already familiar with. So maybe we would see it like, okay, Future and Thug is the Jay-Z and Ye of our generation, you know, all that shit. And it didn't go. I feel like when that didn't go that way, I think you're probably right. I think at some point the team, the label, or him was like, we need to kind of go back in there and see what we can do. Because I guarantee he's lining this bitch up with features. Whatever project he got to be trying to get every record cleared, every artist that he can on there. He trying to come with a Drake type album.
Facts. But it's the thing about Young Thug, and people don't really realize this. I think now in today's game, people, like I said, people they want the substance now and the music, but they also are watching very closely to first week sales more than ever. Like people that's how they really comparing albums and shit now. So that's what's gonna hurt Young Thug because he has never been a great first week selling rapper. He has never performed well in that category. Never. The only project he really released that really sold like 100K first week was the album So Much Fun. That's been his only album in his career that has performed commercially well. Everything else, Barter 6, Jeffrey, what else? The Punk album, all that shit,
Beautiful
man.
Thugger
It
Girls.
hasn't, yeah, all that shit, man. It hasn't really charted well and had impressive opening debuts for his release. He has never been that type of rapper.
Right.
So, yeah, man, we will see. Like I said, like you said, I expect a lot of features on there. I expect I'm already looking at it right now. He got Metro as one of the producers, got Southside, Weezy. So yeah, man. And I think he gonna need all that, man. I really think he needs a beautiful album.
For sure.
He needs one.
Shit,
Yeah, he needs.
I guess I'm gonna segue this shit into the episode. I'm gonna keep most of this into the episode anyway, just cause you know what I'm saying. I feel like it was a dope conversation, so I'm gonna keep this in. But I'm gonna segue into the episode. I gotta leave around 2. I can probably push it like 2:10, 2:15. So
All right, man.
I think the only topic we're gonna be able to really cover is the standings.
Okay.
I got my standings, and I'm trying to figure out a way we can go about doing it. Do you want to? I know I've talked about this before, but do you want to just go ahead and pick a division, start with one division, then go to the opposite side of the conference, like NFC West, AFC West type shit, and go back and forth?
Yeah, because I filled out mines in this on this online predictor website.
Me
So
too. Me too.
I'm pretty flexible in terms of how you want to attack it.
Okay. Okay, bet. So I'll kick it off. I'm gonna start us off with I'm not gonna bury the lead. I'm gonna start us off with the Chiefs division, the AFC West. So I guess the best way to think about this for me is look at their last year standings, and then this is where we see them ending this year. So last year, the Chiefs went 15-2, they finished first. The Chargers went 11-6, finished second. The Broncos went 10-7, finished third, and the Raiders went fourth at 4-13 wins and losses. So I have something somewhat similar. I got Chiefs 14-3, and that's 4-2 in the division. I got Broncos 10-7, they 3-3 in the division. I got Chargers 10-7, barely scraping by to get onto the playoffs. 2-4 in the division, and then I got Raiders improving from last year with 2 more wins at 6-11, going 3-3 in the division. So a lot of dog fighting within the division, but the top 3 teams I think make it to the playoffs this year, just like they did last year.
Okay. I pretty much have it looking the same way as last year. A few changes around in terms of playoff seedings, but I got KC coming out with a 13-4 record, actually going 5-1 in the division. Surprisingly, I got Sean and the Broncos taking a step back this year. I actually have them going 8-9, and like I told you in the previous episode, I think the Chargers. I think it's gonna be a little tougher for them this year. I think their offensive skill position players are kind of lacking outside of that. I do like the Tyler Conklin signing at the tight end position. They did pick up Najee, but you lost Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. You lost that tandem to just pick up Najee, so we'll see how that go in terms of the run game. We know Harbaugh gonna have them with a good offensive line, so I look for them to establish the run and be a team that's built to play from ahead instead of being down. In terms of their defense, they aren't really stopping nobody. You still got Derwin back there, but you did lose Asante Samuel in the slot. You did lose Joey Bosa, so now you just have Khalil Mack, Derwin. Kind of a young defense, but we'll see how they go. But I haven't taken a step back this year, going 3-3. I didn't feel like they really drafted and addressed the needs as much as they should have in the draft or the offseason. So I think that's going to be the biggest step back for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the Raiders slightly improving, but not that much. I think they'll bump up a game. I got them going 5-12 and 1-5 in the division. And that's my stage 1 for the AFC West. Like I said, we'll do this 2 more times before the season starts. But that's just how I feel as of July.
What was your Chargers record?
6-11.
6-11. Okay. And then what was your Denver divisional record?
3-3.
3-3. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess the real difference in my list with your list is I didn't see. And again, I'm going completely off of what we finished off last year, right? I factoring in the draft, I'm factoring in off-season moves for sure. But until I can see a product on the field, I gotta assume that a lot of these teams may stay kind of a little bit where they're at. And Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I had the Broncos losing too many. They were a toss up for me in some of these matchups, especially their non-conference matchups. But I think I'm gonna give it to Bo Nix this year. I think he's gonna develop very well within that division, and I think Justin, just by the nature of where he's at, he's gonna have to fight every year. And sometimes a 10-7 season is
Right.
gonna feel like a 13 and what I'm saying, 4 season or whatever the case may be because of the division you play in. And with I think on mine I got so out of 7 of their losses, 4 of them was in the division. So to me, I still think that's a solid team. They just play in a tough division. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's gonna get you far as the AFC Championship, but it'll get you a playoff spot. Um, so yeah, I guess I just didn't see more times for them to lose based on how they left the field. And then I know we talked about the offense for the Chargers kind of being a little problematic for them this year. But I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like Harbaugh's got a good tandem of running backs, and I think that's gonna hide a lot of the blemishes they have. Um, and their defense didn't jump out the. I mean, I don't know. At least to me, last year coming into the season, their defense didn't jump out the screen, but they finished the best in their division. I think. I think they only put up. I think they have the least amount of points put up against them in that division. So I think that as long as they can kind of keep that identity, even though they might have had, some very deep personnel changes, they shouldn't fall too far from grace. So I got them finishing with another loss. So yeah, we both got them finishing worse than last year. I'm looking at it, but you got them finishing a lot different. And I don't know if the NFL is gonna do hardball like that. Um, and then Sean Payton situation, again, that's the Bo Nix situation. I really think they're going to improve with their communication and their trust within each other, especially now that Bo, I think, has a real read of a Sean Payton offense. I think he's just going to fly up the wall this year. And I really think they could potentially, depending on what happens to Mahomes, they could potentially win this division. Um, but that's just where
I
I
got
see
you.
them right now. And yeah, I think we both
Yeah.
knew the Raiders. I don't unless something crazy happens, I don't know if the Raiders will even hit. I mean, the Raiders will even hit 6 wins like I'm predicting. But I got them at 6, so I'll keep them there.
Okay. Okay. All right. Are we transitioning to the next division?
Yeah, you can do.
Or
We'll go conference. We'll do NFC West. You want to start off with the NFC West?
yeah, I got you. I got you. So NFC West. This might surprise you. Like I said, it surprised me as I was going through it. But I actually have San Fran finishing 15-2
Damn.
for the NFC. I have them going 5-1 in the division.
Damn.
I have another surprise one. I got the LA Rams as my initial fill. I have the LA Rams going 14-3 as well with a 5-1 division record. I then have Seattle going 7-10, going 1-5 in the division. And I have Arizona behind them going 5-12 with a 1-5 record in the division.
Okay, so your Rams record was 14-2. I mean
13 and 14-3,
14 and 3.
14-3.
My bad. 14-3. Okay, and they was 5-1. And Seattle, what was the records for Seattle and the Cardinals?
Seattle was 7-10 and 1-5 in the division. Arizona was 5-12 with a 1-5 record in the division.
Damn. Okay.
And as I went through the schedule and a breakdown for San Francisco, um, I realized they have a very light schedule. They don't really run into a lot of back to backs. I feel like the team that they do face, their defense is going to give those opposing offenses a lot of problems. I really believe that. Um, I believe that you got Brandon Ayuk coming back with Jawan Jennings, with Ricky Purcell, and you still have George Kittle in town. I feel like Shanahan is always going to have a stable offensive line. You got McCaffrey coming back. Um, in terms of your defense, I really, really, really like them bringing back Robert Saleh. That's going to be huge. Um, I think that was a missing piece for like the last 3 years, even though we looked at it as San Fran has had a good defense. But I think whenever you have defensive coordinators constantly changing over every year, it it's going to lead to a downfall in your defense in some way. And I feel like the last 2 years, San Francisco, their pass rush hasn't been as great as we really looked at it to be. So I really love Robert Saleh coming back in town. They did lose a few defensive pieces like what's the safety name? Hufanga. He left. Matter of fact, he left and went to Denver. So that's actually a big pickup for Denver this offseason. And on top of that, they got Dre Greenlaw. So Denver got two good pieces from San Francisco this offseason. So those were two huge blows, but I feel like in their division, I feel like Shanahan and that team will really perform well. And in terms of the Rams, I really love the way that they came out the gate last year. I feel like they'll even be even better with Devontae as a number one, and you got Puka as a number two. You still got Kobe Parkinson at the tight end position. I love Los Angeles Rams offensive line. And we seen what Kyron Williams did as a workhorse running back last year. In terms of the defense, they overexceeded expectations, and I really love Jared Verse in his second year in the league this year coming up. And in terms of Seattle, I feel like they have some growing pains. I do not think that Sam Darnold will last a full year as a starter. I do feel like what his name is, Milroe. He'll get some playing time eventually this year. And at the receiver position, I understand you got what's his name? Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you just picked up Cooper Kupp, but I still feel like they still need a real outside number one. I feel like both of those guys, they excel in the slot in the interior. So we'll see how they perform offensively, but I do feel like their defense will keep them in a lot of games. But in their division, I feel like the Rams and San Fran will have their way with them. And the Cardinals, I just didn't feel like they did enough or made enough offseason moves to catapult them the very next year. I feel like a lot of teams in the NFC improved when they just stood stagnant.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't know if you was wrapped up on that.
Yeah, I'm wrapped. I'm all good.
Okay. We kind of have something similar. Let me start off with the previous season rankings. So LA Rams was 10-7. Seahawks was 10-7, but Rams was the only team to make it to the playoffs out of this division. Cardinals finished 8-9, and 49ers finished 6-11. I think you 100% right with the 49ers record. I was looking at it and I was amazed that the NFL felt comfortable doing that for them. But again, it is the 49ers, so I'm not too surprised. But I think if any games they lose this year, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think they could have a perfect season. Like I don't know what else to say about it as far as like, will it happen? No, but I think they could very well have a perfect season this season with their schedule. Just because, again, like you said, if let me just pull it up real quick because I do want to get into it just a little bit. I do feel like the NFL maybe shows some favoritism here, but it is what it is. They start off the season at Seattle, and then they travel to New Orleans. And then they come back and play 2 home games against the Cardinals and the Jaguars. So those 4 games alone should be 4-0 start. And that's got to be like the softest way to start when you're not playing. I mean, and I don't want to say it like that because you still got to play New Orleans, but I mean in the Caesar Dome, but it's New Orleans right now, so it's not even like same with Seattle. Yeah, these teams show up for their home field games, but I mean the squads there just can't really handle a Niners offense or defense, to be real with you. So that's going to be, again, 2 wins right off the back. Then they get to coast into the ending of the early part of the season. Week 5, they play at LA against the Rams. Week 6, they got
them losing.
You got them losing that game?
Yeah, that was actually one of their first losses I pinned on. Short week, you got to go on a Thursday.
You got to go on a Thursday. Yep. Which is a fair game to lose. That's divisional, so it's a fair game to lose. Then they go back after a 10-day vacation. They go ahead and play Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Then they come back home and play the Falcons at home. Then they travel to Houston, then to New York to play the Giants. Then they come back and repay LA, the Rams in Levi Stadium. So they're playing them in San Francisco. Then they go back on the road, division rival, Arizona Cardinals. Come back home, Carolina Panthers. They travel again, but this time to Cleveland. And then they come back home on a bye week, stay there another week because they're going to play the Tennessee Titans week 15. And then they travel to play Indianapolis. And then they come back home week 17 and week 18 for Chicago and Seattle. I mean, that's got to be the easiest schedule in the NFL, I think.
Right. And every year when they put out the schedule, they put out the strength of schedule based on your opponents.
Yeah.
And they have the easiest schedule in terms of the strength of schedule. Then when you actually go look at it and you go game by game, it makes sense.
It makes sense for
it
real.
Makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
So with that being said, I still found ways to see if Brock Purdy and the crew could, make this somewhat believable and sprinkle in a few losses here and there. So I got them at 12-5, leading the division. With 4 wins in the division, 2 losses. And then I got the Rams coming in at 10-7, 3-3 in the division. And then I got Seattle 8-9, 3-3 in the division. And then the Cardinals match that record 8-9, but they go 2-4 in the division. And I just think I think the Cardinals have another schedule where theirs is almost as like lightweight, but the Cardinals just don't have an identity as a team right now. So I don't have them being favorable in a lot of those matchups. But that, again, with that being said, I do think they sneak maybe a win away from the Cardinals. Away from the Seahawks and a win away from the Rams. I can definitely see that happening. I think the Niners probably sweep them this year. But I think they sprinkle it, and they might even sweep one or the other. They might sweep LA or they might sweep Seattle, but I definitely think they'll pull out 2 wins. I know they've got some very questionable pieces around their offense, but I think the Cardinals are about a year away from dismantling. I think that they're going to let Kyler kind of dig himself into the ground right now and use Marvin Harrison as a tool to attract another young quarterback, which is why I still have not given up hope that this might be Arch Manning's team within the next 2 years. Anyways, the Seahawks. I like Jackson Smith-Njigba a lot. But I think not having Metcalf is going to hurt them a lot more than they think. And I don't know if he's ready to take on that load. And I know Kenneth Walker's a beast, but the Seahawks run through running backs like water. So they got to have some depth in that position. And then their defense, I love the cornerback tandem with Witherspoon and Woolen, but I haven't seen enough. I do like their secondary, and I don't have a problem with their front 7. I just don't know if that team right now has the makings of a playoff team. I think they got pieces that maybe if it comes together well, they can sprinkle something, late in the season. But with the Niners definitely taking that first spot in the division, you got 3 teams fighting for a wild card spot. I really don't think they make it through. So I think Seahawks go ahead and just sit home this year. And then the Rams, you pretty much summed up everything I could say about the Rams. I think they've been building up that running back room heavy. I think Kyron Williams got some help. I think the defense is a big thing that we're not talking about right now. And I think if LA makes it, I've actually got LA going to possibly an NFC Championship game. So I got mine filled out to the Super Bowl, and I got the Rams potentially being an NFC Championship contender. And I really think it's because we're not seeing it right now, but I think this is Matthew Stafford's last hurrah. I wouldn't be surprised if he retired at the end of this year. So we'll see what they put together, him and Sean McVay. And then again, you said it all with the Niners. In that division, they're the only team right now that could probably still put together some type of I know what the fuck I'm doing game face every week. With that schedule, there's no reason they should slow down. I don't see a reason why Debo or Brandon don't have a full 16 or 17 game season this year. So yeah, I think they're in good standing.
Okay. And looking at this contract, I mean, Stafford is only for this year. He has a $47 million cap hit. 2026 next year, he has a $48 million cap hit.
Shit.
And 2027 is a void year for $33 million. So this is only he only looked at to have this in next year as his final years anyway.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
him to walk off after this year, I mean, it's basically written in stone in the contract.
And plus,
And
like
he only
if you make
not
it,
to cut you off,
go ahead, go ahead.
not to cut you off. And the last thing I was going to say, I mean, this year, 2025, he only have a guaranteed salary of $20 million. So his
Shit.
money next year is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what else would you want to accomplish right now if you Stafford? I mean, of course you want to maybe do something else for your legacy, but nothing's gonna move the needle that much. I think you're pretty much cemented as a Hall of Famer. Um, you,
I just think
yeah,
his arm is I think his body is worn down at this point.
mm-hmm,
And that'll be another thing that eventually just puts him away.
yeah,
So
definitely. He seems like a family guy too, and you know, family
yeah,
guys they
absolutely,
kind of they know when to kind of pack it up. So,
absolutely.
um, where you want to jump to next? What division you thinking about going to next?
Uh, we can do what's a good one? We can do AFC North.
AFC North. Okay, so on the AFC North side, I mean, this y'all already know what we're talking about here. We got Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. Um, let's kick it off last year's rankings. 12-5, Baltimore Ravens, 10-7, Pittsburgh Steelers, only two teams to make the playoffs. Cincinnati Bengals just missed it, 9-8. Cleveland Browns, 3-14. I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet. Because I kind of want to hear what Chance has got to say about this more than my own opinion on this. Mine is gonna look almost identical to what they finished last year. Not necessarily, actually. It's not identical, but it's kind of in the lieu of what we've been talking about the last 2 to 3 episodes, where I could really see the Bengals doing something phenomenal this year if they put it together right. But I could also see that being something that I'm completely wrong on. So I got Cincinnati 14-3, 3-3 in the division. I got Baltimore 13-4, 5-1 in the division. I got the Steelers finally missing the playoffs, 9-8, 3-3 in the division. So it's going to be a big question with Mike Tomlin because he'll still have his perfect above 500 rating record, but he won't be making the playoffs this year. And then I got 5-12 with a 1-5 record, Cleveland Browns within the division.
Okay. And what do you feel like as you went through Cleveland's schedule?
Yeah.
And you were placing their 5 wins. What reasons did you feel like those would be the games that they did pick up their wins? If you just could go through the 5 wins that you did give Cleveland.
Let me see. Let me go back on here. I wish it was an easier way on this to just click the team, but I got to go back and see where I had them at. Hold on. Yeah, I think I had Cleveland. I got Cleveland beating Pittsburgh week 17. I got Cleveland. Hold on. Keep going back. I got Cleveland beating. No, I don't. 15. Yeah, I got them losing a lot of games. Let me see. I did find it interesting that week 14, Cleveland plays Tennessee because I know that means Shador will be starting by that point. Or it should mean Shador should make an appearance against Cam Ward if Cam Ward is not injured. Week 14, I definitely see that being a reunion of some sort between the two. But I got the Browns losing that game too. Week 30, which was a toss-up because I almost felt like the Browns could give them the edge on that. Now, here's an interesting loss I have, or win for the Browns. I got them beating San Fran week 13. And my only idea of doing this was because I always feel like there's those outlier games that we don't even think about where just something real funky happens, something real weird happens. And I think the Browns are a perfect team to get gifted a win against the 49ers because it won't count against them. Nobody will ever think that the Niners are a worse team than the Browns, but it's in that nature of any given Sunday. And I think that the Browns could potentially somehow sneak a win against the Niners on this week. Again, that's purely me just being like finding the exception
Yeah.
to the rule. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that might be a chance for that to happen there.
Okay.
Let me go back. Hold on. I'll come back and grab the rest of the Browns wins for you, just so I don't slow up the process. Is there something else you want to
Okay.
follow up on, or did you want to give your record?
No, I'll go ahead and lay mine down.
Okay.
All right. So in mine, I actually have the Browns having a rough season this year.
Yeah.
I have them high in the draft board. Next year again. Picking early, very, very early.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like they'll get walked on, or I feel like they will get walked on in the division. I feel like they'll flat out go 0-6 in the division. But to start it off from the top, I actually have Baltimore finishing number one in the division again. Last year they went 12-5, and I feel like they had a lot of rough games last year. I feel like they had a lot of offensive injuries as well last year. But I feel like defensively they have improved a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually went. Let me see. But yeah, they finished 12-5 last year, but I actually have them finishing 14-3 this year, on 4-2 in the division.
Okay.
This is actually going to surprise you, but I actually feel like this will be a big year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually have them going 13-4 and going 3-3 in their division. Next, I actually have the Bengals going 10-7, but surprisingly, going 5-1 in their division. I feel like that's going to be the storyline for the Bengals this year. So, in terms of the seeding, I will let you know that is the division that I do think will have three teams that make the playoffs this year. I feel like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincy will all have teams that make the playoffs this year, and that explains why I think that the Chargers and the Broncos will be the two teams that take step backs, and they will lose their playoff seedings this year. So that kind of like explains how it all is going to align eventually in terms of the seeding. So 10-7 Cincy with a 5-1 division record, and I have the Browns going 1-16 this year.
Shit.
It was hard for me to find wins for them. I felt like offensively, they didn't really address the skill position players enough. Let me actually go to it.
So you got them going 0-6 in a division?
Yeah, 0-6 in the division. In the first round, they drafted Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan.
Yep.
They went and got Carson,
Yep.
the linebacker out of UCLA. I did like Junkins out of Ohio State. They got Harold Fanner, tight end out of Bowling Green. They obviously drafted the quarterback, Gabriel, got the running back, Dylan Sampson, and then they got Shador. So for the most part, they had a weak draft. The only splash, the only upgrade they really made in terms of a skill position player was Quinshon Johnson. So, and in terms of the offseason, you had to let go of Nick Chubb, but you replaced that. But like we just said, Junkins, you let go the other running back, Deontay Foreman. You let go a tight end. You let go 3 offensive linemen. 4, matter of fact. And you lost Delvin Thomason.
Yeah.
You went and got Deontay Johnson. We know that's not really nothing. You went and got DeAndre Carter. That's not nothing. And you just add in more quarterbacks to the run by getting Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. And on defense, you got Devin Bush and Jerome Baker and Rashawn Jenkins. But after what I just read to you, I mean, does that really seem like a team in a loaded AFC that's really going to that's going to improve off a 3-14 season last year? It was just hard for me to look at. And I think it's just a lot of quarterbacks, man, in that quarterback room. So
Shit. I'm not mad at it because I looked at the other teams I had them beating. The last 2 teams I had them beating were Dolphins and Vikings, and the Vikings I had them beating in England. So I felt like that was a fair game for any team that potentially could be sold overseas. So I looked at the Browns as like, all right, cool, we can sneak them in a win here maybe. Um, but now I'm curious to see when we get to some of these other divisions, who's the bottom feeders? Because I see you got your early bottom feeder with Cleveland. And I know Vegas ain't too far, behind that, but I'm curious to see where you got everybody else at. And again, I agree with you with most of your points. I think the only thing that I had with Cincinnati is I could definitely see the NFL trying to make their money um, with this reunion of all these contracts on the Cincinnati team. Um, but at the same time, I'm not completely sold on Zach Taylor, and I'm not completely sold on, I guess, Burrow, because I still don't know if I trust Burrow to last the season.
That's why I kind of, instead of giving them an elite record like a 12-5, 13-4, I kind of
Right.
looked at it as 10-7, and that's the script on the Cincy anyway. Cincy doesn't come out the gate hot like that.
Facts.
They're a team that
Facts.
get hot late in the season.
Facts.
They'll float off and fuck around and be 5-4, and they know, all right, y'all, it's week 12. We gotta like put pedal to the metal now. They
Yep.
kind of team that get late and go on that run, get hot right before the playoffs. So that's kind of why I looked at them going 10-7. And I feel like this year it's going to be like last year. They're too offensive dependent. And I mean, let's look at some of the departures, man. I mean, let's look at this. You brought in, you added, I guess, Samaje Perine back,
Yep.
who they had before, but was on the Chiefs last year. You got T.J. Slayton. I knew all about him. He was a defensive lineman for Green Bay. I mean, he's only going to help you in goal line situations. That's it. You got Owen Burks, who was in Philly. He also played in Green Bay. He's nothing more than a depth linebacker. You lost Khalil Herbert. You lost Trent Brown. You lost Alex Cappa. You lost Sam Hubbard. You lost Sheldon Rankins. You lost Jermaine Pratt. You lost Mike Hilton. You lost Von Bell. So, I mean, and your first round pick, Jamal Stewart, most likely won't even play for you this year because you can't even get him under contract. So your defense is going to be substantially worse, if anything.
What did you see with Pitt? Well, I kind of agree with your Pittsburgh take though, because my first run through of this a couple weeks ago, I had Pittsburgh winning the division. But what did you see that kind of got you to that similar page? What were you thinking?
Okay, with Pittsburgh, I looked at it and I looked at how they performed last year, and I seen how their defense performed last year. And then I'm going addition by subtraction. Okay, you played the game with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. You move off that, but then you bring in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, who I think will bring you stability, surprisingly, this year. I think you have Aaron Rodgers under the Arthur Smith offense. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's accustomed to playing the West Coast offense.
Yep.
Even playing it the last 7 years since he got under the Matt LaFleur tree. So he knows the offense. I understand they did lose George Pickens, but I think him and DK Metcalf, I think them dudes gonna do good this year. And I think they will have a good tight end tandem with Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. I think that's gonna be big. I think everybody's looking at Pittsburgh saying they don't have a number 2 option. But I think DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, and Freiermuth, I think that'll be a good passing game tandem for Aaron Rodgers to play with. In terms of their run game, let me actually go to that right now. In terms of their run game, where is it? In terms of their run game, I do like the backfield of Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, and Kenny Gainwell. I think those 3 backs right there. I think running back by committee, I think that'll do them well on offense. And their defense is, I think that's gonna keep them in a lot of their games. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play like kind of that Peyton Manning role later in this year in turn when he's really dependent on his defense and he just play ball control offense. And you bring in Darius Lee, you bring in Juan Thornhill, you got TJ Watt happy now because he's under contract. You still got Patrick Queen, still got Cameron Hayden. You still got Joy Porter Jr. and you just brought in Jalen Ramsey. So I really love Pittsburgh defense this year, man. I really love their defense this year.
Okay, bet. Okay. I like the reasoning. I was just curious myself. What about looking ahead with the AFC East? What do you got with the AFC East?
AFC East. Okay. I'll start off. I got
Oh, my bad, my bad. I'm doing it wrong. My bad. We supposed to go NFC North. My bad. I'm
okay.
tripping. We just did AFC North, so we got to swap the NFC. Okay. Where are you looking at with our division? How's that looking?
Okay, so I'll do it. So this one here, it is going to come with some biasness, but like I said, I try my best to pick every game and do it with having an explanation behind it that kind
Right.
of makes sense. So going through the scheduling for every team, like I said, I had the Packers coming out the gate. I did have them seated at number one. Last year with 11-6 record, going with 1-5 in the division. Very chaotic year just from watching it with all the injuries and shit, the quarterback position,
Yep.
that carousel, that right there. I do feel like have them upgrading a lot in terms of the offensive line this year. Let me actually go to so looking at the offseason that they just had, I feel like them shuffling up the offensive line, you drafting Anthony Belton in the second round, signing Aaron Banks from San Francisco, paying him 4 years, $80 million. You still having Zach Tom and Elton Jenkins on your offensive line and getting rid of Josh Myers. I feel like that shit there is going to be heaven sent right there. I hated Josh Myers. So you getting him out, getting off the offensive line and having stability across the board and versatility there. You still have Josh Jacobs in your backfield. You now have Marshawn Lloyd coming back this year, who missed all of last year, who was really supposed to play the Aaron Jones role and bring speed to the running back position. We know what Josh Jacobs was, but he was more of a ground and pound type running back who really wasn't a weapon for us in the receiving game. So Marshawn Lloyd is actually going to bring back that versatility for us in the passing game in terms of having backs catch the ball out the backfield. I do think our tight end Tucker Kraft will emerge and have a big season this year. And the receiving core of having Matthew Golden here to bring speed to our offense. Green Bay not drafting a wide receiver in the first round. In the last 20 years, we'll see how it goes. And defensively, us finishing with top 7 with a shuffle at the cornerback position. I think us bringing in Nate Hobbs and us having a second year under Jeff Hafley in this defense, I think it's going to add on a few wins this year. And in terms of our division record, I do have us going 4-2 in the division this year, dropping the game
was
to
this?
both.
What was the schedule record?
The schedule record was 13-4, and the division record was 4-2.
Okay.
I do have us splitting with both Chicago and the Lions in the division for that record. And it was one last point. I do have all 4 of our losses, well, outside of the 2 against both Detroit and Chicago. I do have us losing to Dallas this year in Dallas, but not to go too deep into that. But 13-4 Green Bay. I do have Detroit going 12-5 this year with a 4-2 record. I do have Detroit stepping up this year from last year. Last year record of 5-12. I do have them taking a step up this year, going 9-8. And in the 4th spot, I have. Why is it freezing? I have Minnesota going 5-12 with a 1-5 division record.
And what was Chicago's division record?
Let me see. It was 3-3.
5-12, 3-3. And Minnesota had a 1-5.
Correct.
Okay.
All
Shit.
right, fire away.
Shit. I mean, we really ain't that far off, but we just, yeah, I kind of saw it a little differently. I got
Okay.
Detroit having the biggest fall from grace. Obviously, coming back from a 15-0 season, I got them finishing 8-9, which is third in the division, with a 3-3 record, divisional record. And then um, Minnesota, I couldn't find them. I couldn't find them any fucking wins. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got them at 4.
Damn, I thought I was doing them wrong, but shit, I guess we're on the same page.
I gave them the divisional rounds because I mean that's just how the North is. Like it ain't too many
Yeah.
times you're ever gonna get away from that. So I'm like, all right, they gotta get Chicago on a good day. I definitely see them piecing up Detroit at least one time that they meet. And I guarantee they'll do the same thing with y'all. So I'm like, okay, that's 3 right there. I think the only other win I had was maybe like the Browns or some shit they played. Something like that. That was like the only other win I had. As far as y'all, I had y'all finishing second in the division at 10-7 with
Okay.
2-4 in the division, just because I know last year y'all finished 1-5. And I feel like the weak spot is still gonna be having to play a team twice if you're Green Bay. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that LaFleur doesn't. I feel like LaFleur's game plan is good when you want and done him. I feel like everything goes how it should go. Green Bay can only see you one time, but I think having that game plan and that film of a matchup earlier in the season is just not gonna work in y'all's favor against anybody in the division. So I think that's why I got y'all at 2-4. I think y'all wins are against us and Minnesota. Those are I got y'all 2 wins against in the division. And then I got us at 11-6. So we not miles ahead or nothing like that. I just think the NFL with the Ben Johnson hiring, us bringing in all these offensive linemen, especially like a Joe Thuney and Drew Dahlman, all these guys that are coming. Oh, even Jonah Jackson, who we got from Detroit. It to me,
Okay.
it's just screaming let's milk this Bears. Like I think this is gonna be one of those years where this 2025 Bears team, maybe 15 years from now, has like umbrellas. You know what I mean? Reaching out. So that's how I'm looking at the season. I don't have us going far in the playoffs. But I do have us having a good divisional time this year with 11-6. I feel like it's safe. I do want to touch on the fact that a lot of the Minnesota, I'm not gonna say hate, but a lot of the Minnesota disadvantages really come from the fact that their quarterback plays in question once again. And it just feels like a team like Minnesota has been having quarterback issues since Brett Favre left. And I don't really see that being fixed this year. I think JJ is going to have to really get adjusted to the NFL. I hope he's got a really good relationship with Justin Jefferson developing over this offseason. If not, that's going to be a bitch because I really think JJ could easily be a Stephon Diggs type of situation for Minnesota. And he showed signs of that over the last 2 years. So I hope emotions stay coiled. But again, if they don't, I think Minnesota just implodes. And then Detroit, I think me and you talked about this early in the year. Detroit, there's not too much of a way for Detroit to reclaim that glory. Again, 15-2 is an incredible season, so you're not really expecting to do that, and then you lost pretty much everything you could lose as far as an identity goes. It's with team comp, not necessarily players on the field, but coaching staff, um, a lot of key positional guys that were a part of that championship, or not. I'm not gonna say championship team, but a part of that NFC North championship team. They're not going to be there anymore. So I definitely think they take a hit. And then we signed Grady Jarrett. I think we had the best offseason in general. That's just my opinion. So I feel like with that being said, we get rewarded with the NFC North title, and we probably lose first or second round in the playoffs. That's how I got it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I definitely agree and understand a lot of points that you made. Um, Now with Vikings, like you said, the turnaround that they had at the quarterback positions and the quarterback position and not having that real stability
Mm-hmm.
since the Brett Favre run for those 2 years. I definitely agree with that. But what I would say is about the Vikings, I think JJ McCarthy's inexperience is going to hurt them the most. But
Yeah.
I do think the personnel is there still. Um, I'm obviously not going to sit here and think that they can duplicate a 14-3 season, but I do give Kevin O'Connell a lot of credit because I understand he has had a turnaround at the quarterback position since he's been there,
Yeah.
having to go from Kirk Cousins to Donald to JJ, and so I still give him credit for even bringing in good years out of Kirk Cousins. The 3 years that he did have Kirk Cousins was putting up big years, big seasons when he was on the O'Connell system. But not to get off track, I love the offensive line.
Yeah.
I do love the tandem of Aaron Jones, and they just got what's the running back they just got from San Francisco? Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
So I love that tandem. They still got TJ Hawkinson, you still got Jordan Addison, still got JJ McCarthy. So I still feel like the offensive personnel is still there to put up points. But I think that JJ McCarthy is going to do some reckless wild shit here and there that all young quarterbacks are going to do
Yeah.
during the developmental stage in the league. And in terms of their defense, I feel like Brian Flores' defense will take a step back because I do feel like they lost some big pieces on defense.
Yeah.
To
They my bad, not to
you
cut you off.
lost,
I'm agreeing with you. Just go ahead.
well, yeah, they lost. You lost Shaquille Griffin, you lost Cameron Bynum, and you lost Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah. Big losses.
So,
I mean, but they still
so
got like Dallas Turner, uh, Byron Murphy. Um,
yeah, I said it, and they brought in Okuda, Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen.
yeah.
So yeah, they brought in a few pieces. Um, And in terms of the lines, I understand you feel like they took a psychological hit going 14-2 and
Yeah.
then finishing one and done. But at the same time, I do feel like they do have a lot of players coming back because we gotta think about how many injuries they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just on the defensive side of the ball, we talking about um Amik Robinson got hurt last year. Um, Alex Anzalone was hurt last year. Marcus Davenport was hurt last
Hutchinson.
year. Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil. So they lost a lot of players last year that they actually have coming back this year. Um, I don't feel like they took a step back in terms of departures. I actually felt like they added a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to it. So you lose Carlton Davis, you lose Emmanuel Mosley, but you bring in DJ Reed and Avonte Maddox.
Yeah.
So I still feel like they made the necessary moves at the cornerback position. And in terms of offense, I still feel like the offense is still there. You still got David Montgomery. You still got Jahmyr Gibbs. You still got what's his name, Jared Goff at the quarterback position. I understand they lost Frank Ragnow, but I still feel like they still have a solid.
Chance.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah, no, I was saying you feel like they got a solid chance.
Yeah, solid chance to still compete
Yeah.
with the offensive line that they have. You still have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, with Sam Laporta. So I feel like they still have big name players all around their team on both sides of the ball. I understand they lost both coordinators, but I still feel like Dan Quinn, at least with the personnel that's in place, I still feel like he can get carried off that alone before it's time to pay all those players and the roster just implode. In terms of the Bears, I totally agree with you that it was a lot of ones that I was like kind of contemplating, but like I said, I do feel like they will have a bounce back season this year, and I feel like in my second and third edition in this, I think I'll probably adjust it to where they probably will be sitting at like 11-6.
Yeah.
But just in the first 8 games, man,
I
I had
know.
them going 4-3. The thing is about Chicago that I think it's kind of gonna hurt y'all a little bit is that y'all have an early bye week. Y'all bye week is like week 4, I think. So I think in a tough division, and y'all got to play a lot of division games later on in the season. I feel like that's kind of like where it's going to get tough when it comes to playoff seeding. But yeah, first 8 games I got y'all going 4-3. The 3 losses that I gave to y'all was Lions, Washington, and Ravens.
I think I gave us those same losses, to be real.
So, and that's kind of like why. So 4-3. Like I said, I feel like y'all was gonna get hot later on in the season. Y'all final 8 games, and I had y'all at least getting 5 wins out of y'all last 8. Going finishing off with a 9-8 record.
Okay. I'm really not. I really am not mad at that. Honestly, you had us making the playoffs, or you had us missing the playoffs.
I'll go ahead and tell you. I actually had y'all finishing as the 9th seed.
Damn.
I had Dallas. I might gotta change this. Y'all might finish higher than Dallas. But I had Dallas going 10-7 this year.
Damn. Nah. I got it. Hold on. We gotta get to the East, cause I definitely here. I'm gonna let you kick us off with the AFC East, cause I started the North. So go ahead and tell me what you're thinking about the AFC East.
Okay, so the AFC East. So I actually had Buffalo finishing with a similar season like last year. I had them going 12-5 this year with a 5-1 division record. I have Miami with Tua in a do or die season, finishing 10-7 and making the playoffs with a 4-2 division record. I have New England going 8-9 this year, first year under Mike Vrabel, and 1-5 in the division. And the New York Jets, I had them going 6-11 with a 2-4 division record, first year under Aaron Glenn.
And you said the Jets was what, 2-2 what?
2-4 in the division.
And what's their schedule?
6-11.
And then give me the top 2 teams one more time. I was still typing.
12-5 Buffalo at the number 1. I got them going 5-1 in the division. And I got Miami going 10-7, finishing 4-2 in the division.
Okay, bet. Okay. That's interesting. You making me second guess my shit a little bit, but we kind of on the same page. I just didn't give Miami that much love. I went Buffalo 13-4. Miami 7-10, and Buffalo being 5-1 in the division. So we had the same divisional record. And then again, Miami 4-2 on the division, had the same thing. I had Jets finishing 7-10 and going 3-3 in the division. And then I had New England 3-14, 0-6.
Okay.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I mean. You tell me, what did you see New England wise? I'm thinking about Drake May. I'm thinking about that questionable ass offense still, and I'm just trying to figure out what's Stephon Diggs like. And they got what, Kendrick Bourne. I'm trying to figure out. Well, where did you see their wins going, and how did you see them getting those wins?
Okay. Let me actually go through it. So just to start it off, week 1, I did have them in New England. Week 1 at home, I did have them coming out the gate beating the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. So that's 1-0. Week 2, I had them losing on the road to Miami. Week 3, I had them losing at home to Pittsburgh. Week 4, I had them winning at home against Carolina. I did have them beating Carolina. Week 5, I had them losing to Buffalo on the road. Week 6, I had them winning on the road against the Saints. I think they'll beat the Saints on the road. I had them beating Tennessee on the road. I think Mike Vrabel, him going back to Tennessee, I think he'll get his moment, kind of stick it to the franchise with firing him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the angle why I picked them over Tennessee. Week 8, I had them beating Indy on the road. What's that? No, that's not week 8. Week 8, I had them winning at home against Cleveland. I had them beating Cleveland week 8. Week 9,
I
I
had
had
them
them beating
losing
the
that game.
Falcons
Yeah.
against Cleveland. Yeah, that's probably one of those another toss-up ones. Um, at home, I had them beating the Falcons. I think early November cold weather. I think they'll beat the Birds in cold weather. Um, week 10, what's this day bye week? Nope. Week 10, I had them losing on the road in Tampa Bay versus the
Mm.
Bucks. Week 11, I had them Thursday night football. I had them beating the Jets on a short week. Week 12, I had them losing on the road against the Bengals. Week 13, I had them beating the Giants on Monday night football. Week 14, I think this was their bye. They was on a bye. Week 15, I had them losing at home to Buffalo. Week 16, I had them losing on the road to Baltimore. Week 17, I had them losing that second game against the Jets, but this time in New York. And the last game of the season, I had them losing at home to Miami.
But Miami might rest the starters that week.
I
So
mean, can they? The reason why I was looking at it from my angle because I had Miami going 10-7, and I didn't want them to mess around and throw a game because
oh,
I
you're
got
right. You're
Jacksonville
right. You're right.
9-8.
You're right. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess, bro. I'm just not sold. I mean, I don't know. Rabel, I definitely see improvements on this season. Um,
I only had them going 8-9. I mean, they finished
I
four
know,
and
but I had
12.
like 3 and 14. I'm trying to justify my shit. I'm thinking like, did I under? I like their defense. I do. I like the defense, and I know with Rabel, he's gonna have an identity on defense for sure, and they already have players there to help seal that deal. I just don't know if I trust Drake May. And I think that Milton, who is going to have to come in a lot of snaps this game, because I think that Drake, I even saw situations last year where I was worried that Drake May was going to get himself killed. So I don't know if he's married to that situation in New England. I definitely think we're underlooking an obvious quarterback debacle within the next 2 seasons with this
I don't,
Milton
I
and Drake
I
May
don't think
situation.
I don't think Pratt's gonna let it go down like that.
You don't
You
think
gotta
so?
think about it. Nah, that's gonna be too soon, man. They just drafted in the first round. Mac Jones in 2021. Now in what 2023, you take Drake May high in the draft, and now you gonna give what Drake May a 3 year cycle. Now I don't
Nah,
think
he ain't
Pratt's
he
gonna
ain't
want
going
to.
nowhere, but you do gotta. Well, what do you do? What do you do in a situation where you finish, let's say you don't go 9-8, but you go or let's say you don't go 8-9, you finish the season. No, let's say you finish 8-9. Yes, it's an improvement from last year, but I think for New England, I just don't know if they're sold with the identity of the team they have. Because Vrabel didn't choose Drake. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like we always got to take that into consideration. Like that wasn't his guy.
So do you take because you gotta think about it. Have we really seen like evidence that he is like really capable of being a guy that can develop a quarterback? Yeah, I think
No,
about it.
we don't have
Was
any
it
evidence. Nah.
because think about the only success we really seen
Was
from under
Tannehill.
Tannehill. And that was after they had to throw Mariota on the bench.
Yeah.
So when I think about it, it's just like maybe they just because think about it, you gotta think about the franchise we're talking about. Did they really give was Drake May drafted for Gerard Mill?
I think Drake May was drafted. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to say it. I think Drake May was drafted as an easy um pill to swallow for the departure of Tom Brady.
Okay.
That's how I look at Drake May. Because I don't think, I mean, they tried the Cam Newton, they tried the Jacoby Brissett, they tried it, bro, and it just did not work up there. And I think they know their team and their fan base better than anybody. And I think they knew they needed a Drake May in that situation. But see, that's what I'm saying, which is he did to me. I don't think he or any quarterback likes young competition, especially when they're young. And for them to have both those quarterbacks on the roster, and I know there's fans in the New England fan base that kind of hold out this idea that Milton might actually be a better prospect than Drake May if he can get together the accuracy issues and things of that nature. I think they like the tangibles that come with both of them, but the intangibles with Joe Milton is just skyrocketing against Drake May. And I don't know if Drake May has figured out the NFL yet, and I don't see this being the year with the first year head coach in that division. I just don't see that happening. I think everybody's fighting for something this year in the AFC East. I think Fields is there to prove himself. He's gonna be fighting for every yard, every down, every play. I can't remember if he beat Drake May the year he played him. Pretty sure he beat Drake May at least once, I think. So I'm curious to see what he does again this year, but I don't see them sweeping the Jets. And then Miami, like you said earlier, I think they're gonna be fighting tooth and nail, really, to kind of get a playoff spot. And then Buffalo, I don't see them loosening up the reins against New England to get them 2 wins. I guess I just don't see the division or the NFL allowing New England to figure itself out this year, and I just don't think they'll figure it out. I don't think there's any weapons there for real. And I think Vrabel picked just to not get embarrassed this season, which hopefully he doesn't. But I got him. I don't think I'm nudging on the 4 wins. I just don't see them fighting that much. They didn't fight that much last year. And I know, again, this is a whole new coaching regime, but it's going to take some time to build that status back for New England of any sort. And I don't think it's going to come this year. I think it's too competitive this year. Too many variables at play. I just don't see it.
So you don't like because defensively, I like how they sitting with Marcus Jones. They got Gonzo, Christian Gonzalez. They still got Jabril Peppers.
I love the
Kyle
defense.
Duggar.
I said that to preface it. I love their defense. I just have no faith in their offensive ability. I don't have any faith in it. I think when you go back, I think when you have a history with Tom Brady and Bill for 20 years, you're going to spend probably 10 years in the gutter figuring yourself out again. Once they both leave you, I don't know if you just find your way back to almost a 500 season. I just don't know if that's the case right now. But again, like we said, this is a very early, drafting process for these schedules. But Vrabel has not sold me that he's capable of doing anything other than being like a locker room guy. And I don't think it's entirely impossible that in 2 years, Vrabel's not the head coach. Or 3 years, I say 3 because I don't think they want to do that much changes with what just happened with Mayo. So I say within 3 to 4, I could see him moving on. Maybe another, go ahead.
Not to cut you off. The thing is, with the previous try that they just had, is that they really didn't have no number 1
right. That's
receiver
true.
last year.
That's true.
So I think them at least having them bringing in Diggs as a number 1 receiver. Just for Drake May, I think that'll be big for him. You still have the security blanket at tight end position with Hunter Henry. They also brought in Austin Hooper to get whatever he got left in the tank. And like I said, defensively, man, I think they brought in a lot. They had a good defense in place already, but and on top of it, they brought in offensive tackle Morgan Moses to help protect Drake May, and you signed Garrett Bradbury, the center. So you're showing up the offensive line to protect your quarterback. You brought in Clavon Chazen, Milton Williams from Philly. You brought in Colton Davis and Marcus Epps. So the defense is going to be shored up. And like you said, you was already applauding that already. And you didn't really lose them in the offseason. But like you said, you just bringing in a cultural change and just someone who have had success with the Titans. I can really see them going 8-9, but damn sure not making no playoffs.
I'm just looking at their roster as you're talking. I don't see it, man. I think Stephon. I think their offense and their chances of winning 8 games is as good as Stephon is with his personality and his health. I mean, he's 31, I think, right? 31, 30. So you're relying on an aging receiver. Um, he's 6 feet. So I mean, I'm not trying to dig into this. I just think with the load that you're gonna have to give him this year, I just don't see it happening, man. I think he's gonna. I think he's. This is a very emotional player. He's very volatile when it comes to how he feels about what's happening on the field in live action. And if they're having any type of miscommunication, I don't I don't
You
I don't
think
I don't I don't even think Vrabel is gonna. I just don't like the pairing of Diggs with the Patriots, and I don't like the pairing of Diggs with Vrabel. That's my opinion.
so? Do you think Stephon is looking at this situation like the 2021 son?
Yes,
Because
yes, that's a
I
great
don't, I
point.
don't,
Yep.
cause I don't completely think he's looking at it like that. And I think the
Really?
contract justifies it. I
Mm.
think the contract justifies it because he didn't get the money that he got in 2021. He didn't get it nowhere near. And on top of that, he's coming back from an ACL injury. So I think I'm not gonna say he's completely humble, but I don't think he can come into this situation with that rah-rah shit like he has been doing in previous locations. Cause he already walking on pins and needles already with the boat situation, with him having the pink substance in his hand. And they questioning what that was. Like they had to do a whole investigation about that. Because he's on a boat with Cardi B
Yep.
and a bunch of groupies, and he got some shit in a bag that look like some pink powder, and they don't even know if it's pink cocaine. That video floating all over the internet and shit. So he kind of like he know that wasn't a good way to start off. You know what I mean? Like it started off your first couple of months with a new team. So
I'm
I
telling you,
don't think
chances only gets worse, man. I'm sorry to say, I don't want
so.
nothing bad to happen, but
So you think he reached that at ABTO territory?
he 31, bro. At 31, you ain't changing this shit up. He got 11 years in the league. This year, if he lucky, everything you said is true. That defense is gonna hold through. Drake May is gonna have this shit figured out by week 3, 4. Because them first 4 weeks, I mean, we if I'm looking at the schedule, and I think for the next division one, I'm gonna have to do both in one just so I can make sure I get it in before I gotta go. But when I'm looking at their schedule, chance, bro, just the first, like, let me tell you, you just went through it, but let's just really go through the first four. So you got Vegas week 1. That is not a guaranteed win.
It's not.
Vegas
It's
week
not.
1 is not a guaranteed win, and you playing them at home. So all the Raiders are gonna do that first game against y'all's defense. That first and second quarter, they're gonna let Genty just get his snaps in. Genty get his snaps in. Whoever the running back 2 and 3 get their snaps in, and just test the waters to see, okay, how strong is this Patriot defense doing? As long as there's no turnovers, if Drake May's not a turnover machine, they probably have a good chance at winning this game. That's how I'm looking at week 1. Then you go to play Miami week 2 in Miami. I don't think Miami's giving you that first divisional game. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it like, and it's at Miami. So let's say they go 1-1. I know you don't got them beating Pittsburgh week 3, so they start off the season 1-2. Now watch this Carolina game be a smack in the fucking face. I'm telling you, not because I think they're gonna lose it, but because right after Carolina, you got Buffalo at Buffalo. Then you traveling to New Orleans, which I don't think it's a win either. Or I don't think it's a guaranteed win. Um, because I look at Drake May as I look at him until I see what he can do, I guess the first, let's say 2-3 games this season, I'm still looking at him as their biggest liability right now on offense. Yeah, the receiver
Well,
room is spare, but I think that's their biggest liability is Drake May.
yeah, because through the first 6 weeks, the only 2 wins I gave them was against the Saints and the Raiders. So I
Oh,
had them
okay, bet,
dropping
bet,
like
bet.
yeah, losing a good amount. All those teams you listed, like having to play Buffalo, Pittsburgh, sorry, I had them dropping all those games.
Yeah.
I just thought that they defense really
They
would
defense gonna
smother.
get banged up though, Chance. You gotta add that into the equation. That first 6 weeks, if they go 2-4, their defense been on the field probably 75% of the year. that far. That's so up until that whatever that 6 week mark is, I guarantee their defense stay on the field probably 70 to 75% of their snaps. I guarantee it. And Vrabel, that's kind of the program he runs where, especially on like the defensive side of the ball, he'll go through some guys. You know what I mean? Find some depth in some key positions. But I think that's probably the same plan he gonna do with this New England team. Is his first 2 years here? I think he gonna chew through the bone, see who's really on the roster, so he see who he can really get around and away with. If you're not on board with the culture change, because I guarantee this has been an interesting offseason and an interesting last 2 years for this New England crew. And I don't know, man. I don't think they get it together that first year. I think Vrabel is too intense of a coach when it comes to personality and the discipline stuff. I don't think this team snaps back into winning shape. That's just, and we spend a lot of time on the Patriots, but I'm just, but that's what I'm thinking right now.
Okay.
What did you just real quick? I just want to hear your opinion on Justin Fields' situation with the Jets. What are you thinking about the Jets? Because I had them going. What did I say? I had them going 7-10.
What did they finish last year? I had them at 6-11.
Okay, so we pretty much neck and neck. Okay.
Yeah, because they went 5-12 last year, and I feel like having to start all over with a new quarterback, with a new coach, yeah. I do think that takes a toll. So with this the third quarterback that the defense is gonna have to deal with. The defense, y'all was paired with Justin Fields. Not just y'all was paired with Zach Wilson. Then Aaron Rodgers. Now it's Justin Fields. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think it does take a toll when it's such a turnover like that.
But Justin is a locker room guy.
He is, and I think that him being paired with G5,
yeah.
I think that right there. I think the offense. I think they'll go out there and have fun, and I think they'll build up the season.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think they probably like a draft away from being what he really want to be. And Aaron Glenn, I think he's gonna have that defense ready to play. But in terms of offense, we don't really know how Aaron Glenn is going to be.
What's the identity?
Right. So I don't even know who the offensive coordinator is.
Mm-mm. No idea. But moving through to get to what do we got left? The South, and is that all we got left? Or do we do the NFC East yet? We haven't. So NFC East and then both the South divisions. Okay. NFC East, again, I'm gonna try to go through this real quick. This should be no surprise to anybody that's been paying attention to these episodes, but I'm gonna start from the bottom up. Giants 5-12, 1-5 in the division. Dallas no better, 5-12, 2-4 in the division. Then I got Washington 11-6, 3-3 in the division, and Philly 12-5, 6-0 in the division. And my only thought process is the Cowboys knew they was pulling everybody's fucking leg with this coach hiring that they had. And I think they're going to do what they are set out to do, which is to finish somewhere within the top 7 draft picks. And then the Giants, I mean, I don't hate the Giants on paper, to be honest with you. I kind of was tossed up a little bit with some of these games, but I just don't think New York has the front office to allow them to be successful. And I'm very critical of front offices, especially in the NFL. And I know a bad front office when I see one. And I still don't know how the fuck they allowed that Hard Knocks situation to go down the way it did. And I don't think they learned their lesson from the Saquon Barkley situation. I just don't see the Giants really moving the needle at all. I don't really see that happening. I think they had a chance this draft to do something daring, kind of, see if they wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, and they chose not to. And I think they'll pay for that. And then Washington, I don't really see a reason for Washington to drop off. I don't think they lost anything. And I think that team is still hungry, and I feel like they really thought they could be a Super Bowl team, and they're gonna act like one next year, or act like one this year. That's my understanding of what they got going on. I think he learned, especially Jaden, bro, because he got so much experience last year without really getting taught a real lesson. He obviously got smacked by the Eagles, but at the same time, I mean, for him to make it that far, stars in his eyes, I think he definitely is showing there's no reason he won't win that division year in and year out. At least as far as it goes. So if he can't win it, which I don't have him winning it, I know I just said that, but I think he'll definitely find a way to get to the playoffs every year. Let me rephrase that. And at least compete for the division. And then Philly, I like Philly's defense. The more and more I went back to look at it, I really like Philly's defense, and I think that on the offensive side of things, Saquon still's got some years in him. And barring any injury, I think they'll be okay. I think Jalen, again, some of these teams, the only question mark is their quarterback. I think Jalen is still the only question mark. And he won them a Super Bowl last year being their question mark, so I don't see why they wouldn't win that division. Probably splitting a game with Washington and possibly New York. That's how I see it.
Okay. All right. I mean, we pretty much had a lot of the similar points. I'll go ahead and start mine off from the bottom as well. I was a lot more harsh on the Giants. Now I had them I know they're not going to finish 1-16, but that's what I just my initial feel going through these games. I was only able to really pick them winning one game.
Damn.
Honestly.
Damn. Which game was that? Was it a divisional game you remember or no?
No, I had to finish at 0-6 in the division.
Damn.
Let me see. Which one was it?
They went 0-6 last year too, so I can't even get mad at it. I think they had a better team this year, though. That's the only reason I'm improving their record. I feel like they had a better team this year. I think they sneak out 2 more wins. And they got a quarterback that they like. I don't think he'll do anything, but I could see them getting 1 win, like you're saying, but I could also see them maybe having a repeat of last year, maybe surprising themselves getting 5 wins.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how I'm looking at it, but I'm with you.
So yeah, week 1, they on the road against Washington. I had Washington winning that one.
Yeah.
Week 2, they on the road against Dallas. I had Dallas taking care of business. Week 3, you at home against KC, so I had them falling to 0-3 out the gate. Week 4, you at home against Harbaugh and the Chargers. I got Chargers coming in and handling business.
Yeah.
That's 0-4.
Yeah.
Week 5, I got you on the road against the Saints. That's the one I actually gave them. I gave them on the road against the Saints. That's the only one I can really justify. I think the Giants know Kellen Moore offense, and I think they'll be able to get after the Saints, who really don't have an offense of their own.
Exactly.
Week 6, what are they at? Week 6, who they play? Was this their bye week? No, week 6 I had them at home losing to Philly. Week 7, I had them losing on the road against the Broncos and Sean Payton. Week 8, I had them losing on the road against Philly, so they played Philly twice in a 3-week span. Week 9, I had them losing at home to San Fran. Week 10, I had them losing on the road to Chicago. Week 11, I had them losing at home to Green Bay. Week 12, I had them
one
losing
of those
on the road
games they probably win. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That Chicago Packers game, I feel like one of them they probably win.
Yeah, they'll probably sneak one in because they play the Bears, the Packers, and the Lions in a 3-week span.
Yeah, they're gonna get one of us for sure.
And then in week 13, you on the road against New England. Maybe that's the one they probably could steal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of their toss-ups. Week 14, week 14, what? It's probably by week. Week 15, you at home against the Commanders. I had them losing that one. Week 16, you at home against the Vikings. I think the Vikings could outscore them. I'm not gonna lie. In week 17, I had them losing on the road to Las Vegas. That's probably a toss-up. Week 18, I had them losing at home to Dallas. I think Dallas could get after them. So, yeah, it was just a lot of them. But after listening, it was probably 4 toss-ups that'll probably go their way. I could probably get them to 5 wins instead.
Right.
So, So that's them. Uh, Third spot, I had Dallas going 10-7. I do feel like offensively, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens could put up some points, and maybe they can be like that the Cincy team from last year, which is you have a high-powered offense, but maybe you still miss the playoffs. Because on the defensive side of the ball, I still feel like they have pieces. I mean, you got Dante Fowler, you got still got Micah Parsons, still got Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Deron Bland. So you still got pieces, especially in your secondary. So I don't think they'll just get walked over. But I think offensively, and with Dak coming back, I think offensively they will be able to put up some points. But I think they will be a non-playoff team this year, going 3-3 in their division with a 10-7 record. Number two, I got Washington having the same exact record as they had last year, going 12-5, but this time going 4-2 in the division. Like you said, I don't really have any. I didn't see any sights of them having any step backs. I mean, they didn't really have any departures that I felt like really hurt their team. I feel like they really resigned all these players, and with them bringing in Debo and you bringing in Von Miller,
Aggressive moves.
So I feel like they had like a lot of acquisitions and they didn't really lose anything that hurt them. Philly, I had them winning the division again, but this time with a 14-3 record, going 5-1 in the division. I love Philly defensively. They lost a lot of pieces though, so I don't feel like their defense is as strong. I feel like their pass defense will be a lot weaker this year, but their front seven will still give a lot of inexperienced quarterbacks problems. I feel like the pass rush will really be able to get out the quarterbacks, but defensively, you losing Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, Milton Williams, James Bradbury, Avonte Maddox, Isaiah Rodgers, Darius Slay, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Yes, their defense is going to decline. So, but I still feel like offensively, they still have all the skill position players in place. The offensive line didn't go nowhere, so that's still going to be a strong suit for them. You still got Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and we still think Saquon got more left in the tank. So you really bringing back the same team, the same team back from last year. But your defense, pass defense is going to be a problem. So I think Jalen Hurts will have to score a lot more points this year. And with a narrative him being a quarterback who doesn't have to play well in order for his team to win, come on, they just setting the stage for that to be a narrative next year for him to have to conquer. So that's how I had the NFC East going.
Okay, I'm gonna do both these NFC and AFCs together just for the sake of time. So I'll start off with the NFC South. This was kind of my favorite to go through. When I was making the just doing the schedule, but NFC South. Should I start now? Let's do AFC because we just talked about doing back and forth. So AFC South, I'll start off with that. My bad. Houston, I think remains number one in the division. I got them 12-5, 5-1 on the division. Tennessee comes in second at 9-8, 3-3 on the division. Jacksonville 7-10, 3-3 on the division. And then the Colts, who I just couldn't find a real reason to show them any love. 3-14, they finished last. 1-5 in the division. I think they're also conference-wise. I got them 15th in the entire AFC. It's them and New England bottom two. So that's how it's looking for the AFC. And then for my NFC, just to get that out the way, it looks very similar to last year, but instead of Tampa Bay holding the division title, I got the Falcons beating them out 10-7 at number 1, 3-3 on the division. I got Tampa Bay doing exceptionally well in the division at 4-1, but they don't do enough outside of the division to take that record or take that divisional spot. 4-1 in the division, and then 9-7 on their schedule. So they missed the playoffs because they're my 8th seed, but they barely miss it. And then you
gotta have 6 games, bro. But you said 4-1. That's
I said
5.
4-1. Hold on, might be the wrong screenshot. Hold on.
Yeah, 'cause there's only 5 division games. They
Oh, my
need
bad,
6.
my bad. Okay, let me see. I think I took the wrong screenshot.
But it's good though. I mean, it's for the most part. I
I
understand
had them
how you have
finishing.
this.
I had them finishing 9. I must have missed the game in here. I think I missed the game. That's what it was. They're the only team like this. So let me say the record. Let's go 9-8 for the record, because I could see them. I still see them finishing below the Falcons in general. I don't think they do enough. I think the Falcons split that game with them, and then they win out the division and the non-divisional games within the conference to take the lead of the division. That's how I think the Falcons are gonna do it. I like their odds with their schedule a lot more. I could even gave the Falcons more wins, in my opinion, but I kept it at 10. So I would have them right underneath them. Let me go back to the same screenshot. Make sure that one's okay. Okay, yeah, and then finishing out the bottom 2, I had the Saints at 4-13. And I had them going 4-2 within the division. So I think that all of their wins are going to come from the division, in my opinion. Which I even feel like is generous, but I just know the history of this division, and even when they're not doing well, again, like the NFC North, they'll find a way to sneak some games in with each other. So I hope that maybe, Moore comes up with something early on, maybe sneaks a game away from Carolina and Atlanta. But then bottom of the NFC, bottom of the NFL, 2-14, my worst team of the year is the Carolina Panthers with no divisional wins, no nothing. I don't know who I gave their 2 wins to. I think one might be week 17, and I think the other one might have been like, I don't know if they played the Jaguars or some off team like that. But I got them only having 2 wins this season.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to find that one. So we'll run through mine as quick.
But yeah, while you're looking for that, I will say I did enjoy the NFC South scheduling. I don't know why. I guess just the parity of the teams is always interesting with me. And it almost feels like any divisional game between these teams could go to either one. That's really what it seems like to me. But
yeah, they do. They division winners do flip flop for the most part, year to year.
yeah, I really feel like they got the fairest division in the NFL. To be real with you, but that's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah. I mean, how you feel about Dallas really should be in the division?
Who and take out who?
I mean, because geographically, Dallas really supposed to be in the division if you're looking at how everything aligned.
Okay. So who would you swap them out with? Because you gotta have somebody come out.
Shit, move Carolina. I'll push it. Find a way to put. I mean, I don't know, because Carolina should be in Tennessee division or some shit, man. But
It's just no history with these. Well, it's no storylines you can really make at this point in time if you move Dallas in there, because then that's just Dallas's division. I feel like the only reason that division is as fair as it is because none of them really got a real appeal to come there. You know what I'm saying? Like geographic location, maybe like if you want to be in Atlanta, maybe if you want to be in Florida, you go to Tampa, maybe. I don't really see why you would ever really want to be in Carolina, but maybe you like the weather, maybe family there. New Orleans damn near the same way. I mean, unless you grew up in Louisiana, I don't really see the appeal of going to New Orleans either. So I feel like they all got that,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They lackluster kind of appeal wise. So it fits in for them to be there. But I think if you move a Dallas in that division, they just take over.
I got you. So yeah, I was gonna try to get through it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna start off from the NFC South.
Okay.
So winning now, I actually had this is an ugly division, man. I had the Falcons winning this division with a 9-winning record.
Mm-hmm.
I had them going 8-9, winning the division, and I had them having a division record of 4-2. So I actually had them beating up on their division. Second place, I had Tampa Bay going 7-10. I had them missing the playoffs this year. I do see them as like an older roster, And I kind of had them taking a step back from being a playoff team. I kind of feel like them teetering with 10 wins, going 10-7 the last couple of years and getting in the playoffs just by default with a division record. I kind of feel like that'll hit the wall this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't really look at them having a lot of big pickups this offseason to give them that boost that they need.
Yeah.
So I think Atlanta take the crown this year with the division win. And I like you said, I actually had Tampa Bay doing well in the division. I actually had them going 4-2 in the division. And number 3 spot, I had Carolina being garbage this year. Again, I had them going 2-15, but going 2-4 in the division. And that's the only wins I gave them were in division games. Were early in the season, week 3 at home versus the Falcons, and week 10 at home versus the Saints. Those are the only 2 wins that I gave them.
Okay.
And the Saints, I had them finishing number 4. I had them finishing 2-15 also, with a 2-4 division record as well. But somehow with the strength of wins or whatever, they end up finishing 4 through a tiebreaker.
Right. Okay.
AFC South, I had Houston going 13-4 with a 5-1 division record. I had Jacksonville going 9-8 with a 3-3 division record. I had Tennessee going 7-10 with a 3-3 division record. And I had Indy going 1-16 with a 1-5 division record. And I think them and the Saints will be in the Archie Manning sweepstakes.
Damn, wait, you had Tennessee going what?
7-10 with a 3-3 division record.
Damn. 7-10.
I just didn't trust him that much offensively. I think Cam Ward, I think he'll do everything he can. I think he will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But I just didn't feel like they made the necessary moves on offense. I mean, I understand they got Calvin Ridley. You got what's his name? Trey Burks.
Yeah.
Who else?
I guess I'm not mad. I mean, 7-10, that's generous for a rookie to begin with, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because offensively, they got Van Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Lockett. I mean, can we really say he has a number 1 option?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're 100% right. But they schedule ain't that hard either, though. That's the thing. Tennessee's schedule ain't that crazy.
Let me go through. I'll just walk through this one for this one team. All right, so week 1 on the road. Week 1, I had them losing against the Broncos. A 4 p.m. game against that Broncos defense. I had them starting off 1-1. Week 2, they at home 1 o'clock against the Rams. I got shown. Yeah, so that's 1-2. Week 3, I had them beating the Colts at home. So they 1-2. Week 4, they on the road against Houston. First division game, I got them losing.
Yeah.
So that's what 1-3.
1-3.
Week 5, who did they play?
Arizona. At Arizona.
So I actually had Arizona winning that game. It's a 4 o'clock game. Arizona's coming off a little mini bye. So I actually had them winning that game. I actually had that as one of those games that Arizona had to win, keep their season alive.
Okay.
So I had them beating them. So that's 1-4. Week 6, they on the road against the Raiders, a 4 o'clock game. That's probably a toss-up game, but I just think Max Crosby and that defense gonna get after the young.
I think he win that game.
Ward. Yeah, that's probably another toss-up. So another toss-up one. We know the Raiders ain't really gonna be a lock team at all. So, but week 7, they at home against the Patriots. I had them losing that game, but that's probably another one of those toss-up games. I just think that Patriots defense gonna be able to really get after. No, this the reason. I had that as the Mike Vrabel.
I was going to say the reunion game.
Yeah, that, and I think that Patriots defense gonna be able to get after him. So I had them losing that one. So week 8, I had them beating the Colts. I had them sweeping the Colts.
Okay.
So that's another one of the wins. Week 9, I had them. This is actually a surprising one. I had to give them a win over the Chargers. So and the Chargers coming off a mini bye, so that probably could go either way as well. Week 10,
They going
they
by.
on the bye. Week 11, and they coming off a bye at home 1 o'clock game. I actually had Houston sweeping them, so I had Houston beating them. Week 12, I had them beating Seattle.
You got CJ beating Cam twice. Like even for ratings, you don't think they'll milk that a little bit? He got to be able to have a divisional foe.
I think he'll put on a show, but I just don't. I just don't think he have the offensive personnel to like really do his thing. I don't think he really had that Nico Collins.
Yeah, but Houston looking fragile right now with their offensive weapons. In my opinion, I feel like if he lose either one of his wideouts or a running back, I'm talking about Stroud, that is, I definitely think the season is questionable at that point.
Look, you got Nico Collins.
Yep.
Jaden Higgins.
Yep.
John Mechie.
Yep.
You just brought in Christian Kirk. You still got Dalton Schultz. And now you got the running back tandem of Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. Then you still got Damian Pierce.
He's a lot of guys with injuries, man. A lot of guys with injury history.
I understand.
I'm just saying, either way it go with Houston, it seemed like, because you got to think, they can't put the whole. Okay, let me ask you this, because this would be perfect way to wrap up, I guess, the AFC South situation. What do you really think is the plan in the NFL for CJ Stroud? And I know we talked about this before, but I mean, I can't even think of like a quarterback comparison right now for Stroud. I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? But I guess I'm trying to figure out, where do you see it?
So let's go down the list. So when we really talk about what do the NFL look for when they really looking for the guys?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like the main characters who gonna be here for the next 15 years or whatever.
Yep.
When you look at Stroud, does he have the clean image?
Yep.
All right. Does he have I guess, does he really have the charisma or the aura? I would say yes. I really say he really has the appeal and he really has the attraction for what a superstar quarterback could really be.
I don't know
yet. Even if it ain't, just from an image standpoint, I really give it to him. And I'm talking about just from how he came out the gate. I remember bro, I still got the messages. Week 3, you was texting my phone. You was like, CJ Stroud looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like that right there told me enough. Like, all right, just from you texting me that week 3, and mind you, that was when the conversation was out that Ohio State quarterbacks don't look good in the NFL.
Yeah.
He is the only one so far to break that stigma. So I really feel like at the time, before Jaden Daniels did what he just did, CJ Stroud was in the book for having the most impressive rookie season.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Only Jaden Daniels, you know what I'm saying, outperforms him. So I feel like he has the makeup. I feel like he has the image. I feel like he has.
So who's his quarterback comparison? Career comparison, I should say.
That's why I was just trying to go down, check all the boxes. So it's just.
You think they do him like Drew Brees?
Nah, I already know Brees comparison, but he lost the Super Bowl already.
Okay, so what about
Burrow was supposed to be the Brees
comparison, right? What about he went to an AFC Championship game his rookie season. Made the playoffs his second year. He ain't missed the playoffs yet.
He going into his third year. I mean, he don't really got no comparison. I don't feel like because that was the greatest rookie season we ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fuck
So,
around to be Dan Marino.
nah, I think Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be Dan Marino. Like I said, I the Packers was blessed the fact that Green Bay gave them that Super Bowl in 2010 because, like I said, over the last couple of years, we haven't seen no quarterback outside of Aaron Rodgers that have won a Super Bowl that wasn't a merit quarterback.
Right.
So that right there, that year right there was an anomaly. So, and I did some research, bro. That year was such an anomaly that it didn't even have a salary cap that year. I swear to God, you could look it up because that was the year we was going into the lockout year to play
Yeah,
the
the
next season.
lockout. Yep.
So yeah, that season was
anything fly type shit.
Real talk. It was crazy. Like so but yeah, the point that I'm trying to make is that with CJ Stroud, he is just we haven't really seen a no, that was the point that I was making. So I feel like Dan Marino was supposed to be Aaron Rodgers supposed to be the Dan Marino, but they gave him that title. I think Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be one of those quarterbacks in which his talent just didn't end up paying off in the playoffs, basically. So, and then I can keep it honest. I remember that playoff run. He beat Michael Vick in the wild card. We know the league was not giving Vick in the Eagles nothing at that time. Like they were just using Michael Vick for sure.
Yep.
So he walked over Michael Vick in the wild card. You beat Matt Ryan and the Falcons in the playoffs. I mean, in the division round. Then Jay Cutler tapped out of the game, was on a bicycle bike the entire game. And Aaron Rodgers, you had to beat out Caleb Haney.
Literally.
In the NFC Championship game.
Literally.
And then you play Pittsburgh, in which the entire defense is limping like hell. Like Palomalo have a hamstring injury.
Yep.
Ike Taylor is hurt. Ryan Clark is hurt. I remember. I can keep it real. And Aaron Rodgers has never had a cakewalk run like that ever again. That is why. Shit. He have never had the ability to be able to say he can beat the quarterbacks that he beat. And that right there is just that was supposed to be Aaron Rodgers. Like it was supposed to be like when you watch him, it's supposed to be like, all right, nobody in the history of the game can spin a football like that. But when it gets to the playoffs, it's like, why doesn't it work? Why he can't win with it? Like that was supposed to be the stigma for Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, so you had Colts bottom of the division, right?
Yeah, I had Colts 1-16.
And what was Jacksonville record?
9-8 with a 3-3 division.
That's what it was. Okay. Well, shit. I mean, I feel like we pretty much agreed on our list. I know that, our 1s and 2s were kind of here and there, and then our bottom 2s, our losses, our wins could have been more generous with some teams than others. But I feel like we pretty much had identical thought processes. There's just, for me right now, I have to start seeing, I usually get a good feel for things about week 3. Week 3, week 4, I kind of have a feeling of like how the season should be going. There's enough media push within the first 4 weeks. A lot of storylines get pushed out. And I kind of just weed through to see which ones are going to stick. I think right now, though, I don't think we're wrong. I'm looking at your list and my list. I don't think we're wrong right now about anything realistically, but I think there's one team on here at the very least, whether that's the Jets, because you already had the Pittsburgh conversation for your schedule, so that was going to be my little Cinderella for the AFC. But you already got them rated high, so I can't say that. But I think maybe the Jets, or maybe it's going to be a rookie, bro. I promise. It's going to be a rookie. It's either going to be the Jets, Tennessee, or fucking, I don't know. I could see Jency popping off with Vegas in a weird way. I could really see it. And then Denver hitting that regress, like you said. I could see it that way. Maybe the Chargers take a fall. It's a lot of ways these things could happen, but I think through and all, our schedules are pretty much how it should be towards the end of the season this year. Was there any final
Okay.
thoughts from you as far as when you going through making these and what you saw to surprise you, things like that? Anything?
Um, surprised by. Um, no, honestly, I think um we both had similar thoughts in terms of the teams that we knew were going to be the bottom feeder teams,
Yeah.
the teams that we knew would take the division crown. I think we both looked at the similar. The only difference I think we had was probably with Dallas.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I want to say probably the Chargers,
Dallas, Chargers, Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh.
and I think I had Tennessee doing a lot. Well, no, I had 3 game difference. You had Tennessee at 7-10. I think I had them at 9-8. So not even that wasn't even that big.
And I think probably the Browns
Oh yeah, the Browns. I had at 5-12.
and the Patriots. That was probably.
Yeah, the Patriots. Yeah. Shit, Drake May might surprise me. He might go around and fuck up and do 8-0 start off the season. Him and that
Last
defense.
year, last year was his first year, or his second year.
Last year was his first healthy year, I think. Right? Ain't that right? I thought he got hurt his rookie year. Drake May career. Oh no, last year was his first year. You're right. Last year was his first year in the NFL. He played 13 games.
15 TDs, 10 picks. Yeah, I think with Diggs on the field,
I don't know. He just don't jump. They don't nothing jump off the screen with this guy with me, man. That's really what it is with Drake May. I just can't. I don't know. I have to just see it.
yeah, they gonna have to.
Vrabel gonna have to draw
Shoot.
something nice. I promise you that. He ain't got a Derrick Henry to rely on. This ain't gonna be no Tannehill situation.
They about to run Ramondre Stevenson
And
into the ground.
he already halfway into the ground. So good luck with that.
And they did bring back Josh McDaniels for whatever that's worth,
Yeah, they did.
the offensive coordinator. His ass came back after he didn't work in Las Vegas.
He be having success with New England though, so we'll see.
Yeah, he's just one of those coaches in which he can only thrive in the offensive coordinator role.
Yep.
Uh,
100%.
maybe that's what Kellen Moore is. We about to see.
Yeah, we're about to find out. The Saints gonna be an interesting team to watch for sure. But
Yeah,
shit, you
man,
about
I
to,
don't think I was gonna.
yeah,
The
go
only
ahead,
thing
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say last. I don't think I was gonna say last. Shit, I had them as like them and the coaches like in for the Arch Manning sweepstakes. So
You had the Colts
I
and
Saints.
the Saints. Okay. Shit, two former teams. Okay, two former Mannings.
Yeah, and I think the coach probably had the best odds. I think they'll probably give it to him.
I think Colts give it to
First.
him too, honestly. I just don't see Colts winning any fucking games this year. But I ain't gonna lie. I could really see the Colts being an 0-17 team. I don't know how I gave them the 3 wins I gave them, but I dead ass was giving them wins after I realized I had them at 1 and something. So those last 2 I gave them.
Okay.
So, that's where I'm at. I think they finished probably the exact same spot as last year, 3-14.
Shit. It ain't really upgrade shit, so it won't be no surprise.
Yeah, no surprise. And I feel like they're gonna find a way to get rid of AR5 this year. So he's gonna have to find a new team. New squad.
Thanks.
But shit, man, I gotta get out of here. So I'll catch up
All
with
right.
you. I have the other episode uploaded already on the page. If you haven't seen it, but I'll send you the link when I get out of here. And this one, what's today? Sunday, obviously. I'm gonna say I'm gonna try to have this one up by Tuesday. Tomorrow gonna be
All
a
right,
busy day
bitch.
for me, so I gotta see.
All right, bro. That sound like a plan.
All right, bro. I'll text you this week to confirm if we can do anything this weekend. If not, we'll just keep it pushing on to the next week.
All right, bet shit. I think the Hall of Fame game is probably that following week.
That following
Or
week,
is it the
yep.
week? Is it week coming up?
It's the 31st.
All right, bet.
All right, brother. I'll catch you, man.
All right, bro. Stay safe.
Peace.